Alright, welcome, and guess what? Today we're doing a coffee enema in the bush because our purification practices are important to our natural health and our spiritual path. So, no excuses, just action. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my little camp stove here. I like the jet boil one. It's worked for me for the last 3 years. Super quick, super small, easy. Cool. So, coffee enema benefits are phenomenal. For keeping natural health, getting rid of parasites, heavy metals, any toxins. By cleaning the liver, you clean the whole body. And ancient Egyptian wisdom and spirituality tells us that the liver is the real seat of the soul. And I was talking to a friend last night, and he says that in Chinese medicine, TCM, the liver is also connected to the eyes and the pineal gland. So the way we see ourselves is directly related to how much our liver is functioning or how well it's functioning. And in today's society, when we have so much food-like products that are just chemical laden and environmental toxins, these sorts of things, there's not a lot we can do about some of these things. So by taking action ourselves and taking full responsibility for our own health, we can do the best we can and achieve enlightenment or whatever your personal goals are. And in Ayurveda also, the liver is connected to the eyes. And of course, the liver has so many repressed emotions and anger and resentment and things we really don't need, and we can really just drop it by doing something as simple as a coffee enema. It really is. I've found it incredibly empowering. I've been doing coffee enemas regularly for the last 3 years, so I encourage you to consider it. So on to the more practical things. Oh, actually, the feelings that you get from it, generally just mental clarity. And we can all do with more of that, right? Because when we get rid of those heavy metals, the heavy metals have so many emotions attached to them. Like for me, I had fear and loneliness attached to an experience recently because I'm getting rid of the mercury out of my body. And I've been, seriously purifying my body for the last 3.5 years or so. And so we all have all sorts of stuff. Like if you've ever drank tap water, or if you've ever breathed air, driven a car, there's heavy metals, there's stuff in it. And we want to make sure our detoxification pathways are performing at optimal rates, because our level of homeostasis is directly related to our vibration level, psychologically or spiritually. So by detoxifying these metals, which are holding us down, they're heavy, and they're not fun emotions. We can just put some coffee in our bum and get rid of them. It really is that easy. Okay, on to the more practical things. I've had this one simmering away. I like to use Sacred Grounds, coffee with soul. It appealed to me. And any organic coffee, ideally organic fair trade, is very nice, sentiment and energy, and of course, only the best for your bum. So don't go settling for no instant Nescafe stuff, Quality, all about the quality. I use a tablespoon per litre. So 2 teaspoons per litre. I'm going to do normally 2 litres, but today 1.5 is good just because I'm in a different environment. So I'll just top that up. I've already put some in. And allow that to simmer away. The ideal time is 12 minutes. Between 10 and 15 is fine, but if you can do 12 minutes, it's great. And you can also make it like a concentrate. So I've got about 400 mils in here. So by making that quite strong, we can just add into the bag later on and get it to the right body temperature. It's important. And we can always make it a little bit more relaxing and luxurious for ourselves, because we can. So I've got my brew here to help me relax. Oh, beautiful. So I've got a combination of spiced cacao, organic, beautiful, coconut water, and my favorite sweetener, organic cacao syrup or cacao nectar. Magic stuff. Great combination. I'm loving that. And then if you want to put in some tea bags, I've got some vanilla chai in there as well. It's just sensational. Okay, so that's been simmering away now for approximately 12 minutes. So I can turn that off. And of course, here's my enema kit. Essentially, it's very similar to a hydration pack. Your camelback when you're going hiking with. It's probably not the best idea. So yeah, essentially we put the coffee and the water in here, get it to body temperature, and insert. I'll step you through that. I like to use a tea strainer. Very simple, very small. I've got a little bit of water in there already, and just strain that through. Because we don't really need little bits of coffee inside of us. That could be interesting. Also, what I like to put in here, just for extra detoxification power, is about a tablespoon of castor oil. Castor oil is ancient wisdom for thousands of years. Has a lot of great binding to toxin benefits. So I'll put some information. About a tablespoon. I used to be very precise with these things. Now I kind of just go by feel. I find it more fun and natural that way. And of course, that's quite warm. So I'll put a little bit of extra water, because if it's too hot and it goes inside you, it's interesting, and you only make that mistake once. You don't do that again, that's for sure. Yep, that's good. And so this is it's a vaginal insert, but I find it much easier to hold because it's longer. And hey, if you're gonna take it, take a big one. Yeah, I said that. Also, it's a very good idea to just release the air out of the tube, because we don't need to add more air to our body. Most people, in fact all of us, have got an excess of air in our body already, and that's stored in the lower abdomen. So And this is the perfect method to get rid of that. You know, in Ayurveda we use the 5 element theory, and in our body the air is where we store our mental patterns, our parasites, our delusion, and we really don't need that stuff. We can seriously just flush it away, and it's quite simple. If your mind is willing to do it, and ideally you have a strong belief system that you want to improve yourself. And I've found this is one of the best ways to do it, and it's certainly become a firm favourite of mine and a number of friends and clients. And everybody who's tried it once has continued to do it. And, some people once a week, they'll start there. Other people will go straight on to twice a week, 3 times a week, or a daily practice. And people can do this for 20, 30 years on a daily basis and get tremendous results and feeling fantastic, wonderful wellness and spiritual growth as well, because their body has less work to do, and it's fantastic. Of course, the air element it means we just feel disconnected from ourselves, because we have our cells, our egoic cells, how we see ourselves in our solar plexus, and then our genitals are our happiness psychologically. So the thing that's in between our feeling our happiness of ourselves is the air, which is the delusion, and it's just not real. So we can get rid of it. And what's the best element to get rid of air? Oil, which is earth. And of course, coffee is very yang practice. So in a world where we're very, very yin, we're told what to do, we have a lot of receptivity in our society. So by adding some yang, it means you can get your real sense of self and some happiness back. I know all this from a coffee enema. There's that much to it. So anyway, just by getting rid of the air, it'll just get a little bit out. Easy. Done. So what I like to do is screw this on first. And I've got a little hand sanitizer, organic lavender flavored hand sanitizer from Dr. Bronner's. Feel free to have a look at Dr. Bronner's products. I'm a big fan. All organic, using a lot of beautiful natural oils, and they're spiritually aware, so that's always kind of helpful with the people with their beautiful intention, or both head and heart aligned. So for cleanliness, give that a bit of a spray, and then what I also like to do is I've got some Ayurvedic oil that I like to use for ease of insertion. I find that quite beautiful. There are some, Ayurveda has a lot of beautiful romantic ways of describing things. And there's, Maharayani oils that allow you to feel like a goddess, because that's the name. Or masculine versions of that too, so it's kind of nice. But if you've got coconut oil, then guess what? There's an extra use on the 120,000 different uses for coconut oil. So it's always great to have some coconut oil. So what I like to do is simply put a little bit of oil on there. And you can be liberal, but you don't really need much. And also for later on, if you needed to clean the bag before or after, just a dash of diluted hydrogen peroxide. Because, we do want to keep cleanliness where we can, because it is a purification process. Really simple little tip or hook is very easy and kind of very essential, really. And because I don't have a huge bathroom facilities available, in a way, there are lavatories everywhere. Uh, I like to just be as practical as I can and just try to avoid those excuses that our mind comes up with and just get it done. Because those excuses, they're all mind driven, they're all solar plexus. So by getting it done, by getting past the mind and getting to the base chakra and get it on the ground and actioned, then when we action, the universe has naturally an opposite equal and opposite reaction. Newton's law. It's also a universal law, karma. Karma means action. So by taking action, you'll get a fantastic reaction as a result, especially because we're doing something that, hey, it's a little bit unusual outside of normal society. And, I like, some people call them weird. Guess what? I love weird. More weird, the better. Because then we're growing and we're outside of the normal society and we're able to take more action. So, anyway, enough talk. I've got there's a little hook inside the top of the tent, so I'm using that. And I've just gone for a run, so like all my body is, sweating out those toxins, those heavy metals. And I've been doing a parasite cleanse, so the parasite's been a little vocal with some air, so I'm getting rid of more mental patterns, which I'm a big fan of. So yeah, if you can see, I've got the kid here. We can just and the question is he going to go there? Well, we'll get comfortable. It is a good idea to put a towel down just for protection and also privacy. And I like to think you can think of Jesus or think of God yourself, whatever affirmation helps you. And then turn it on and we're good. Alright, we'll catch up next one and then enjoy the benefits.